This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth. Digital IDs in the US and in Canada are accelerating at an exponential rate right now. And today I'm going to show you 3 stories that prove just how bad things are getting. First of all, we have this grocery store chain in the US using biometric surveillance in New York stores, collecting facial, eye, and voice data from their shoppers. Wegmans is storing biometric data on shoppers' eyes, voices, and faces. We've also got the TSA, who is starting to collect DNA with this new law that is now in effect at U.S. airports. New strict custom laws have gone into effect, allowing government officials to request tourists' DNA in some cases. The new biometric data collection started on December 26th, just ahead of the new year. This new rule targets non-citizens entering or leaving the United States. And then in Canada, we've got the government launching a trial version of digital IDs for certain licenses and permits, guys. This is the beginning of a much, much larger agenda. So we're going to talk about all of this and much, much more in this video, guys. But really quickly, before we do, I'd ask that you check me out here at Pressfortruth.ca/gold, where you can protect your wealth with precious metals, guys. This is a time-tested hedge against inflation, as I'm sure you all know. Here you can get physical bullion at wholesale prices. You can hold your gold and silver in RRSPs and registered accounts, and they offer retail delivery of your precious metals and some of the best vaulting services I have seen in the entire industry, obviously for security, for convenience, for flexibility, and for insurance. So once again, please check out New World Precious Metals at Pressfortruth.ca/gold and book a call with these guys today. You will not regret it, guys. All right, let's check this out. Wegmans expands biometric surveillance in New York City stores, collecting facial, eye, and voice data from shoppers. Customers entering Wegmans stores in New York City are now being monitored in new ways. The grocery store has started collecting biometric information such as facial, eye, and voice data from anyone who walks into its Manhattan and Brooklyn locations, according to recently posted signs. The notices explain that the data collection is meant to protect the safety and security of our patrons and employees. Yeah, sure thing. Like, obviously, it has nothing to do with safety and everything about total control. This marks a notable expansion of a 2024 pilot program that Wegmans had described as small and temporary. And they always do this, talking about small little pilot programs. Like, I remember, when the G20 came to Toronto, and all of a sudden, like, dozens and dozens of CCTV cameras started going up all over the city at multiple intersections. And they assured us at the time that this is just temporary. Don't worry. None of these are going to be staying for any kind of extended period of time. And then the G20 came and it went. And I noticed these things aren't going down. And then weeks and weeks and months and years started to pass. And I'm like, every single one of these CCTV cameras that they put up for the G20 is all still here. And back at the time, they were like, don't worry, it's just a little, temporary thing that we're doing for the G20. Of course, that was all a blatant lie. It was always meant to stay there the entire time. At this time, the company stated that biometric scanning applied only to a limited number of employees and that any information gathered from the shoppers would be deleted. Well, now the new notices make no mention of any kind of deletion or any data limits. Again, it always starts out as, don't worry, nothing to fear here, and then sure enough, they backtrack on everything that they promised. Wegmans didn't respond to questions about how it stores the information or how long it keeps it or whether it shares it with outside parties. Obviously it will, and the question is are they doing this for marketing purposes so they can direct certain products directly at you, or is this going to be going to other, departments within the government for the purposes of tracking your every single move? I would argue that it's for both, but more so the latter. Efforts to regulate the use of biometric tracking by private businesses in New York have stalled. There was a 2023 City Council proposal that was seeking to restrict such technologies after Madison Square Garden used facial recognition to identify and remove attorneys connected to lawsuits against the company. Isn't that one insane? Like, Madison Square Gardens had a lawsuit going on, and they used their facial recognition technology to scan the faces of the people coming in. And if they noticed that any of the people were attorneys that were, you know, involved in the current fight against them legally, they barred them from entry. Like, talk about misusing the technology, or again, better said, using it exactly for the kind of purposes that they've intended all along. The bill has since gone nowhere, and the council member who introduced it didn't comment on Wegmans' expanded use of the system. A city rule passed in 2021 only requires businesses to display a sign when they collect biometric identifiers. The Department of Consumer and Worker Protection has said that it cannot penalize companies that fail to comply, leaving individuals to pursue their own legal action. So they don't have to have this sign here. If they don't, it's up to you to figure that out. And so there's probably a whole heck of a lot of other stores other than this Wegmans grocery store that is doing this and just haven't yet posted the signage, so you wouldn't even know. So this stuff is accelerating at a crazy pace, guys. But now you fast forward to this story. You've got the TSA starting to collect DNA with a new law that just came into effect at U.S. airports. Do you put up with TSA because they keep you safe when you get on an airplane? Well, forget that. There is no public evidence that the TSA has caught any person actually carrying out or imminently attempting an Islamic terrorist attack at an airport or a checkpoint in the last 5 years. And experts generally note that the TSA screening programs have not credibly documented a single terrorist caught at the checkpoint in their entire history. Again, like, the TSA was implemented shortly after 9/11. We're talking like 25 years ago, where they're supposed to catch terrorists, and they haven't caught a single one. Not one single incident has brought a so-called terrorist down because of the TSA. And here we are 25 years later, and it's still a thing. Like, again, it's just more proof that that's exactly how these things work and operate. New custom laws have gone into effect, allowing government officials to request DNA in some cases. The new biometric data collection started on December 26th, just ahead of the new year, and just ahead of, like, the busiest flying day there is. I'm pretty sure December 27th is like one of the most busiest days for air travel. And I would imagine that this DNA collection is coming in the form of probably swabs with like a Q-tip that's going to wipe down the inside of your mouth. I doubt they're taking blood, but yet, that is. You know, like, things have to be done in incremental stages, as I'm sure you're aware. And I think right now they're looking at mouth swabs. But at any rate, the fact that they can even collect your DNA is insane. The new rules target non-U.S. citizens entering or leaving. According to the government documents seen by Reuters, travelers will now be subjected to facial recognition photos at the airport to help match them against existing records. Those facial recognition pictures will be stored for up to 75 years, according to the documents. Under this new law, the Department of Homeland Security officials may request additional biometric information, including fingerprints or DNA, from non-citizens. Again, they're probably not taking blood yet, but you just wait. That'll be the next phase. The updated security measures are meant to deter the filing of frivolous claims and provide operational consistency, according to the government. The new biometric rules would also remove any restrictions on facial recognition, meaning that any foreigner is now subject to these biometric measures. Remember, it starts with illegal immigrants, then it moves to foreigners, and then it morphs to citizens. Like, mark my words, that's what's coming up next. Up until now, there were restrictions on who could be scanned using facial recognition. Travelers under 14 years old or over 79 were exempt from those requirements, but not anymore. Biometric data has been collected from foreigner visitors for years, but now the government is pushing to collect more information to tighten border security. The new rules expand what the officials are legally allowed to ask for. So this is pretty bad, guys. Also, select visitors planning to stay in the U.S. for more than 29 days are now required to pay a $30 fine if they refuse to pay the fee or refuse to be fingerprinted. This could result in a fine of $5,000. So this is accelerating quickly, guys. Like, it's officially here. It's not coming anymore. It's officially here. Absolutely insane. It reminds me, I put out this video. What is this? 2012. That's a long time ago. The TSA meets independent media for opt-out and film week, where it was a campaign where we went to, the airports, and I was getting my camera in the faces of these TSA agents, and eventually the police, who didn't like that, but it was very much called for. On day one of the opt-out and film the TSA campaign, Dan Dicks of Press for Truth and Ashley Jessica went to the Buffalo International Airport to help raise awareness about the intrusive and invasive TSA procedures. We were immediately surrounded by members of the TSA and also the Buffalo Transit Police, who tried various intimidation tactics on us, but ultimately failed to deter us from taking part in this important campaign. And if you want to check that out, guys, head on over to my main YouTube channel, my main Press for Truth YouTube channel that has been heavily censored. This is why I'm starting to use this second channel a little bit now. But at any rate, if you haven't seen this one, make sure you head over there. And if you're not subscribed to me on my main channel, make sure you head over there right now and subscribe. I'll have a link in the description below. And finally, we have the Canadian government launching a trial version of the digital ID for certain licenses and permits. Trial. Where have we heard that before? The Employment and Social Development Canada Department has officially confirmed it is developing a digital ID for certain licenses and permits called GC Issue and Verify, which has already been listed on the Google Play Store as a trial-only app for certain users. Here it is, the official government Play Verified app, officially affiliated with a government entity. This is the Government of Canada's wallet, which is currently in beta. Privacy-respecting mobile application, privacy-respecting, designed to help you store, manage, and present your digital credentials securely. Digital credentials are electronic versions of traditional physical credentials, enabling you to digitally prove things about yourself online and in person through a digital wallet. While GC Wallet Beta is available in the App Store, it only currently supports specific digital credentials as part of the limited Government of Canada trial phase. Again, we know where these trial phases go, guys. Eventually, they become, permanent and eventually mandatory. So, yeah, this is just a trial phase. So, anybody who's willingly downloading this app to help out with this so-called trial phase is insane and is a pretty big part of the problem. The digital ID claims the government can replace and be full digital versions of the physical credentials that they are already providing today, like work permits and boating licenses. Instead of only having physical credentials in their wallets, people will now be able to securely store their digital credentials on their mobile devices, says the government. According to the ESDC officials, the digital IDs can be shared online or in person when needed, making it easy for departments and organizations and businesses to validate their information. The government argued that since many Canadians already use digital credentials without even realizing it, like a digital ticket stored on a mobile device instead of using a printed ticket, this would be just the same for digital IDs and licenses. That totally reminds me of this scene from my full-length feature film, United We Fall, where we asked John Manley about Canadians being put on a database And I queued this up. Listen to what he has to say about that.
This is one more step towards an Orwellian state of everyone being on a database or something like that.
I've got news for them. They are already on a database.
Oh, really?
They are.
Which database?
Well, have they got a credit card?
Yeah.
Well, they're on a database.
You're already on a database. What are you so worried about? If you got a credit card, you're already being tracked, traced, in
What
database.
are you most concerned about? Identity theft? Or the fact that you might be on a database when you're already on a database?
Again, this is from my full-length feature film, United We Fall, released 15 years ago now. If you haven't seen that, again, head on over to my my main YouTube channel. I'll have a link in the description below. ESDC said that the digital options will be voluntary and that people can still use traditional physical methods for verification. The reality is that digital IDs and similar systems have long been pushed by globalist groups like the World Economic Forum, an organization with which the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has extensive ties, under the guise of ease of access and security. Also, Canadians who do not want digital IDs, they don't want them, as noted by Canada's Privy Council research from 2023, which said there is strong public resistance to the use of digital IDs to access government services. And we have to keep that pressure up and let them know that we absolutely do not want these things. You have to resist this at every chance you get. If you're an American who's watching this, you need to boycott that grocery store chain, Wegmans, because they're using biometric identification just for walking in the door. If you're going to be traveling anytime soon, you need to refuse any kind of scans at every chance you get, even if it means you're going to maybe go to secondary or be searched, patted down or anything like that. It's of the utmost importance. And if you're Canadian, do not download the app. And don't take part in any trials. Because, as we said, it's a trial for now, and it's voluntary for now, until it isn't. Until all of a sudden it's more than mandatory, and you're facing potential prison time for not doing so. So the window of resisting this is closing. It's getting shorter and shorter. It's almost fully shut. So they will completely lock down the cage if we don't continue to resist this now more than ever. So you need to do everything you can in that regards. Even get rid of your cell phone if you have to, your smartphone, and get yourself a dumb phone, one that's not connected to the internet, has no GPS tracking, has no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything like that. Something that you can just use simply for phone calls or text messages, and that's it. And it's kind of hard for them to say, well, you got to have the app, when you're like, well, my old flip phone here doesn't even take apps and doesn't even connect to the internet. So what now? So, I mean, at least we still have that option. So you have to exercise that now while you still can, guys. So I just wanted to bring all of this to your information, to your attention. Crazy stuff that's happening in the acceleration of this global digital ID system that is really fast tracking its way into Canadians' lives and Americans, and over in the UK as well. It's been absolutely brutal. So just wanted to update you with those 3 major updates. Once again, guys, don't forget to check me out at Pressfortruth.ca/gold. New World Precious Metals, where you can physically get your gold and silver. You can link it and store it in your RRSPs and registered accounts. You can get them to deliver it for you. And again, these guys have the best vaulting services I've seen. If the government wants to try to confiscate your gold from them, they will just ship it to one of their many other vaults at other places in the world. They have 3 of them that are all spread out. So these guys are fantastic, and they work with a supplier that I've been a fan of for well over a decade. Their supplier actually ran up to me once in a mining conference that I went to in 2014. And Silver Gold Bowl, they're called. And they ran up to me. They're like, we're huge fans of Press for Truth. And they gave me a 1-ounce silver bullet. They're like, we just wanted to give you this as a gift because we appreciate your work. And now, like, over a decade later, I'm working with them directly. So, over the last couple of years, 2023, 2024, I've been telling you guys to buy precious metals, gold and silver, and just look at what happened in 2025. Gold went up 70%, silver went up 145%, and I honestly don't think that's going to show any signs of slowing moving into 2026. Because the world is just getting crazier and crazier as we go. Yeah, again, don't forget to check out New World Precious Metals at Pressfortruth.ca/gold. And that's all for today, guys. Just wanted to bring all that to your attention. Please don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe to me on my main channel. I'll have a link to that in the description below. And stay tuned. I will have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.